Well, what's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Just a little update before I get out of here. I'm sitting here working on this guest suite, taking a half bathroom, making it to a full bathroom and stuff. And it is almost 8 o'clock, and I got to go back and cook something to eat. I got some Thai soup I was making. I started this morning. We have some news here about George Pickens. We've heard some rumors that the Cowboys are thinking we better get George Pickens signed before he gets a chance to be a free agent. Because right now, his numbers, now of course, that may change with CeeDee Lamb, but his numbers are going off the charts. He's on pace for about 1,500 yards and 17 TDs. And I don't know that any wide receiver as a free agent has hit the market with those kinds of numbers. And we're seeing guys like Devontae Adams that got 24, I think it's 24 or it's 22, $22 million, and we're talking about an aging guy. So the Cowboys are sounding like they want to be proactive. George Pickens was asked if he would like to come back to the Cowboys. And basically he said, yeah, he said the locker room is good. The place is nice. And he didn't say anything about the taxes, but, I bet he's thinking that the taxes are relatively low too. And he's okay with the idea of coming back to Dallas. So will he or won't he? Well, we'll see. The question now is, and I talked about this yesterday, is where do you put him? You can't pay him more than CD. You can't pay him more than CD, but I'm sure he's going to want CD kind of money because he'll fetch CD kind of money on the open market. But now you have to also look at other things and say the taxes in Dallas are cheaper than taxes than elsewhere. So would he look at this and say, yeah, I can go to Dallas and I can pay, I can get the same money as I do someplace else, but pocket more because there's less taxes. Maybe I end up liking, being at the Star because I get more publicity and stuff as opposed to being in Pittsburgh. All those things I'm sure will weigh into his decision, and we'll see where that goes. I hope that they can keep him because what you've learned, and this is what Brian Schottenheimer said today, was they, because they were just getting started as the season was going on, that they were taking CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb was the guy that they're moving all over the place on the field. And George Pickens was more of the stationary guy because they thought that, CeeDee Lamb would be the better one to be having move around all over the place. Well, come to find out, they're realizing that George Pickens, because of out of necessity, can play all over the field and creates more and more mismatches. So now you look at this and say, you've got two guys that can play anywhere on the field, and you can look for different mismatches. Will they use George Pickens now more because CeeDee Lamb was hurt? I'm imagining that they're not going to just go ahead and throw CeeDee Lamb out there for a boatload of plays like they did with Diggs coming back from injury. But you have now a much more diverse and dynamic offense with George Pickens on there. It was funny listening to the Dan Saleo show, and Dan is like, before I got on there, he's like, who is Dak throwing to? He's like, he's got George Pickens, and he's like Jalen Tolbert and Futanu, whatever. And I'm like, Fanoy, okay, Fanoy. He's like, I've never heard of any of these guys that they're throwing to. And he's like, Dak is just the real deal. And they were literally talking about Jalen Hurts, that if they lose and don't put up a lot of points, that maybe Jalen Hurts, you start looking at him to say, hey, maybe they have to bench him. Yeah, I doubt that happens because he's got too much money tied up into it. But, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of tired right now. Whew. This has been a one-man show here working on this space, but it's coming along really good. See, I got my vanity in here. I got the medicine cabinet up there. The medicine cabinet lights up. I got my ceiling exhaust fan up in here. I got a new window. I'm sitting on the toilet. You thought I had my pants down like Momo, didn't you? I've got a refrigerator out there. And the first cabinet is actually in place for the microwave, and we'll get that done tomorrow and have the microwave hooked up in there. Oh, if there's painting and build the cabinets. So, yeah, I'm tired, boss. I'm real tired. But I'm going to get back to the man cave and see what else has happened with the Cowboys. This is crazy right now with the NFC East that there is no dominant team right now. And it may go down to the last week of the season. You know, everybody's got flaws. It wouldn't, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants ended up being the best team in the NFC East by the time the year's over. I really feel like the Eagles are about to implode. They have so many injuries, and I'm not sure they have enough players on defense right now. Jalen Carter is an enigma wrapped in a mystery. And I got Xander texting me to go ahead and hit the link so that way we can collab together. Yeah, the Dance Leo show. That was fun today. Definitely check that out because we had a ball today for once. Philly 500's melting down like a mother humper, and I love it. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Whew. All right, down the steps one more time. Tomorrow, I'll get started on the shower tile. I got to tile this up. That's going to be, I got to tile the ceiling and everything in there, so that's going to be fun. But I got the floor tiled yesterday, and I got the toilet and everything in here today. So that makes me feel pretty good right now. You know, I was sitting here thinking, if the Cowboys do want to try and get some help on the defense, one guy is not going to be enough. And trading for Trey Hendrickson, giving up one of those premier picks for him, I don't think that's a good idea. Because he's a free agent at the end of the year. If you're going to do something like that, you need to get somebody that you can sign. And maybe you can get somebody like Bradley Chubb. And maybe you try and make a deal for somebody like Demario Davis. If you could do that, then I think that might be something that would help out your defense. Your linebacking core is terrible. Your edge rushers, I'm so disappointed with Sam Williams, man. I thought for sure Sam Williams was going to be a beast, but it just hasn't worked out that way. And that's the thing. You just never know. Dude has all of the things that you look for in an edge rusher: size, strength, speed, but just can't seem to hunt. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Look. And my exhaust fan light. This is the microwave cabinet for this big ass microwave that's going to go in there. And this is the bedroom. Bedroom, living room, and all that. A nice little efficiency apartment. Alrighty, good people. As always, I appreciate y'all, and I will see you soon. Peace.